welcome to JFix, and in this video I've got a DELL Inspiron laptop that's having a few problems, so I'll show you what's going on and let's see if we can fix it. So the story with this laptop is that it does power on fine, but it won't boot into Windows. Apparently they're getting some kind of error message when they try and load up the laptop. So it could be something quite straightforward. But the important thing is he's got data on this laptop that he doesn't want to lose, important documents and files, photos, etc. So need to go about this in the right way so we protect that data no matter what we do. Maybe it'll just need a reinstall of Windows, not sure, but let's see if we can help this person, because apparently he's tried lots of different places, no one will help him, and it would be nice if we can get this working again, and at the very least get the data off here, so if he does get another laptop, he'll still have the important files that he needs. So I've not looked at it yet. I'm going to switch it on and let's see what error it's getting together. Okay, so I'm pressing the power button. Let's see what happens. I've got a Dell logo, so it is right, it's powering on. It's loading the windows. Okay, and we've got an error here. So it's tried spinning for quite a while, loading Windows, and it's just saying your PC couldn't start properly, and I've got this error code here. So I think first let's just quickly look what that error code means, give us any more information, and yeah, let's decide how we're going to fix this for the customer. Okay, so I have done a quick Google search for this error code on here, and it looks like it's a pretty generic error code really. It's saying it could be any kind of factor such as a drive configuration due to a hardware failure, could be the operating system cannot locate its boot location, corrupt, therefore inaccessible. So hopefully the hard drive is still okay and we can get the data off it, and it's just something that's become corrupt. Part of the operating system files that are stopping it from booting. So I will say let's try and recover the data first of all, and then we can move on with actually trying to get back into Windows again. So there's a few ways that I could go about trying to get the data. Now one option is I've got this USB stick here with Medicat on it, and what that contained is a live OS. So instead of running the operating system from the hard drive internally, I could run an operating system from this USB stick and then access the files that way. And my second option is I've also got this docking station here, and you've probably just seen this in my last video that I've done if you want to know any more information about this. But my plan is to take out the hard drive from this laptop, put it in this docking station, and then copy the files over to my main PC, and then we can work on this and copy them back after. So I say let's open this laptop, find out what hard drive it's got, and see if I can put it in here and read it from this docking station. One good bit of advice when taking the laptops apart is just to take a note of the screws. As I've taken the screws out, I've just put them next to the holes so I can compare them, and all these ones are the same size, but these back ones are actually longer than the other ones, you can see. So I know now that these three holes at the back, they've all got the larger screws in there. So before just taking them all out and putting them in a pot, then not knowing where they go, I've just taken a note there of which ones go, because if you try and insert a larger screw into one of these holes which have got a small screw, it could penetrate into the board and damage the motherboard. So I'll be using that trick just to make sure that I put them back in the right place. And the laptop is open, and this is interesting because we actually have two drives in here. We've got this little NVMe in here, which is 512, and we've also got this drive as well, this 2.5-inch drive. So I'm assuming this is like a solid state drive. I'm not sure what the size is. Let me try and take this out and we can have a proper look at this one. Right, this drive is out, and this is a good RAM, 512 GB. So we've got this solid state drive, good RAM, and we've also got this NVMe, which is a SK Hynix. So I'm not sure about both of these brands. Not really heard of them before. Kind of off-brand hard drives. But this is interesting because I'm assuming the operating system files will be on here, and this will be additional storage on there. So I think what I'll do is I'll see if I can remove this one as well and connect them both up to my external caddy, and let's see if we can read any information to see which one got the OS on it. Not sure if this has been added at a later time, or possibly this one's been added at a later time and the OS is on this one, so do need to read them first and check. So I'll insert the solid state drive into here, and let's see if this one will fit in at the same time. Still in the chassis there. I don't think it will actually. What I'll do, remove that one and put this one in first. And I think this will go over the top of that now. Just check that that's clear. Yeah, it's got clearance, so it's not going to short out. Let's power on. Wait to get some activity. Yeah, we've got activity light on both. So let's have a look on the computer now and see if we can read these drives. I've got Crystal Disk Info open to check the health of these hard drives. So I've got my main C drive, and 2 additional drives have both been detected, which is good. So it looks like the D drive is the NVMe drive, the SK Hynix 512, and the E drive is the solid state drive. That's the what was it? Good RAM drive 512. So let's have a look at this. That says 99%. And that says 98%. So this has got power on hours, 512 hours, and power on count 1500. This one, wow, okay, that's strange. So that one's got 10,000 power on hours and 665. So it looks like the NVMe has had a lot more power ons, but not as many power on hours, which is strange, because this one has indeed got 665 and that one's got 1500 power ons, but for some reason this has got much more hours on there. So that's not clear. I'm guessing because this has had the most power ons, that this SK Hynix came with the laptop and it's got the operating system files on it. And this one, I don't know where it came from, but it's been added at an extra time, and it's you know, got a lot more power on hours here. So maybe someone was using that in an external enclosure or something. Not sure, or it came from another device. But I don't think these came with the laptop they're not matching with how many power ons they've got. So let's have a look now, see if we can see what data is on these 2 drives. So I can see in here it's reading both disks, and they both look like they're 50% full on there. So which one is the NVMe? That's the D drive. So let's have a look into this one first. And that indeed does look like it's got the Windows installation on there. The user profile, program files, etc. So that looks fine, and I can recover data from the My Documents folder, user profile, no problem. And the E drive, the solid state drive, let's have a look what's in there. Again, it looks like it's reading it okay, and for some reason I've got another desktop. Okay, I'm going to blur out any personal information on here that might be there. But that looks like it's got some important files in it, and we've got some other various folders here. So you let me, while this is working, before anything happens, try and back up this data, and then we'll see where we go from there. So just while it's copying some of these files over, one thing to mention is that these drives, they could have viruses on them. So I've taken a risk by connecting these, putting them onto the computer. I've just done it because it's easy, and I'm hoping that there isn't, but as I say, do run the risk of having a virus. So if you weren't sure and you wanted to be careful, doing it from the live operating system would probably be a better way of doing this, just to make sure that your system itself wouldn't be affected by anything that's on there untoward. I've successfully managed to copy all the data that was on this solid state and the NVMe drive to my computer, so I've got a backup of all the documents and images and things like that. So I'm happy now that all this data is safe off the both drives, and the fact that I've been able to copy this indicates to me that these drives probably are fine. Maybe it's just a corrupted Windows installation, but I am just going to double check the drives using the Windows utility. So I'm just going into properties, tools. I'm just going to run a check disk on both of these drives just to make sure that those both pass okay. I've just put the NVMe with the Windows installation back in. I'm actually going to just try leaving this drive out just to see if that was causing any of the issues, and see if it will boot without this drive in first, because there's no operating system files on there, just some personal data. So yeah, let's just try it with this one on its own, see if we get the same error. Right, so we've still got the same error with just that NVMe in the drive. So I'm going to try some of the recovery options, see if we can get it working that way. Right, so let me press F1 and see if I can get into the recovery environment. And it won't let me in. Try one more time. And it's just going around in a loop. So let me just have a look at the firmware settings on the BIOS. Press escape. Okay, we're in the BIOS now. So I think what I'll do is I'll just try and reload the default settings, see if that makes any difference. So we'll go back to factory defaults. So we can't get into recovery, and resetting the BIOS is also not working as well. Let me just see what the startup settings are. So this is in a different language, so I can't understand that, but I'm wondering if that's the boot sequence on here, trying to boot from the primary drive. That should have reset the defaults anyway with the BIOS, but I will just check the boot sequence on it now. Yeah, we've got Windows 10 on there, so it is detecting Windows 10 on the device. So none of those options are working. Let me have a think and see what we can do now to see if we can try and save this Windows installation without having to format it. I'm going to try and boot off the live OS on here and see what recovery options I've got on my Medicat device. And if we can't get it going, then I will just reinstall Windows again. Right, I'm back in the BIOS now, and I'm just going to boot options. I can see that both hard drives are detected, but my Type-C here, my USB stick, is lower in the priority, so I'm going to move that up to make sure it boots from my Medicat USB first of all. Right, I am getting a security violation on here, so with this Medicat I've got to enroll the key from the disk. I'm going to click enroll key from disk, and in Medicat you need to go into this EFI folder and enroll this key. And then don't need to view it, just click continue. Are you sure you want to enroll the key? Yes. And now reboot. And we're in the Medicat USB in UEFI mode. Right, from this boot repair menu, we've got these options here. I'm going to try this easy UEFI tool. Right, so now this easy UEFI loader has launched. It does give me access to the Windows command prompt. And I know there are some commands that we can use to fix the boot partition on here. So let me just try and Google those, find out what they are, and we'll see if we can use them to type in here. Right, so I've just had a look, and the command we need is boot recovery. So I'm going to go boot rec and then /. Okay. I'm not sure because it's not an English keyboard. Let me just find out where the / is. Oh, there it was. The 7 key. And we're going to go fix MBR. I think that's master boot record. I'm not sure that that's actually valid for Windows 10, but we'll enter that anyway. Operation completed. And then we'll recall that command and we'll do fix boot. Completed, and then we will rebuild our BSOD. Again, we're in a different language here. But it does say operation completed. So I've run them 3 commands. Let's reboot now and see if that's made any difference. Okay, I'm just trying to boot again from my USB stick, and I'm no longer able to boot from it. So I think the changes that were made there were probably made to the USB stick and not the actual installation drive. So I'm just going to see if I can repair this USB stick and then boot back into it. It's actually the next day now. I've successfully repaired my Medicat USB stick, but it took a long time. I had to leave it going overnight because the file was like 22 gig and I needed to re-download it and install it. I have spoken to the person who this laptop belongs to as well, and they're not really bothered about their Windows installation. They're happy if the files are backed up. So I'm no longer going to try and repair it. I'm just going to go in with a fresh Windows install now. So I've also put on here some ISOs, and I've got the Windows 10 official ISO. So I'm just going to launch that. I'm just going through the Windows setup now, and I'm just going to delete all the partitions that were on there. Looks like there was some DELL recovery partitions as well. So I'm going to ignore them and just have the whole drive available and create a new partition in there. Lovely. So we've got the system and the reserve partition and the primary partition. So let's go ahead and install Windows now. So when I'm trying to install Windows, it's trying to force me to log into an account. I don't want to put my personal information because this is not my laptop. I don't want to log in. So if I go Shift F10 and let me just open the registry editor, and then if I navigate to local machine and then software, and then in Microsoft, let's go down to Windows. And current version, and here my out-of-box experience. Let's create a new word in there. Right click, new D word, and do bypass NRO. And let's just set the value to 1. Lovely. And close that. Lovely, we've now got a desktop. We're fully installed with Windows 10. So if you are installing Windows 10, mistake I made was to put my Wi-Fi password in there, and then it forces you to ask the account. So we managed to bypass that anyway, and we're now into the desktop. There's no drivers installed now on here, so I'm just going to get all the drivers that's required for this laptop, and then this one will be done. So hopefully you've enjoyed something in this video. It wasn't the most interesting repair, as it's just a software issue more than a hardware issue, but I've still enjoyed it, and I've enjoyed using my docking station. And this is the kind of issue reality that a customer might have, where they can't use the laptop, and unless you've got a second machine, you can't even create recovery media on a USB stick and then put it on this one. So they're kind of stuck really with a laptop that they're not able to do anything with. But that being said, I'm happy we helped this customer here, and they're going to be happy. They've got a nice working machine. I have also done all the BIOS updates on there, and all of the Windows updates and drivers, everything. So wanted to do the BIOS as well, just in case it pushes that BIOS update out to the laptop after I've handed it off and maybe causes a problem. So it'd be better for it to fail here doing the update, and then I could have a look at it. But everything's gone smoothly and all my data's back on there. So just to show you what I've got upcoming in another video, I've got this gaming laptop, which is a CyberPower gaming laptop to repair, which looks like it might be a hardware failure according to the advert. So fingers crossed, it might be more interesting. So interesting to know if you've ever heard of a CyberPower brand laptop before, because it's the first time I've come across one. But that'll be coming up shortly on the next videos. Thanks for everybody, and leave a comment if you've got any advice on doing these type of jobs, especially with the software and the Windows. I'd be interested to read them. Thanks for now. Bye.